Hi guys, me and the FoodTube family, together with our friends at LV, are here to help you guys out. You've told us what your biggest cooking headaches are, so together we'll show you our secret tips and tricks which will change the way you cook forever. Check out Cupcake Gemma as she gives you all her secrets making the perfect meringue.
So if you've ever tried to make meringues before and your egg whites are just not whipping up and it's just taking ages, it might be that you haven't made your bowl clean. Best thing to do to make 100% sure, I like using vinegar with a bit of kitchen roll. And then get your whisk, and this is a bit annoying, but it's worth it. Right, so my next tip is to avoid getting any egg yolks at all in your egg whites, because if you get any egg yolk in there, it's going to prevent your egg white from whipping up. I like to do my eggs one at a time. Another thing which might happen to you in your meringue is you might find when you're beating it, it kind of gets to a really nice point and then it starts to break up like all like bubble bath foam, kind of goes all weird. You're overbeating it basically. And there is something you could do to prevent that. Add a little bit of cream of tartar, and that's tartaric acid. Basically adding a bit of acid will just helps it stabilise. Another thing to think about is the speed at which you start whisking. I always start on quite a sort of medium speed, just to get it going, just to get the egg white sort of fluffing up a little bit. It becomes a stronger structure that way. That's nicely starting to foam up now, and I've got 250 grams of caster sugar measured out in my bowl. So we wait until we've got a little bit more structure, and then we add it gradually. So we're getting there. So it's starting to be soft, Pete. You can see it's not holding its peaks at all, but it's kind of wilting. I'm going to start adding the sugar now, tablespoon by tablespoon, really, really gently. Just shuffle it in bit by bit. As I add the sugar, more and more bubbles are forming and they're getting smaller and smaller. The mixture is starting to go nice and glossy, which is exactly what we want from meringues. So that's the last of my sugar. And I'm going to turn up my mixer as well to a pretty high speed. Right, so it's been going for a few minutes now. I'm just going to check to see if all my grains are gone. Get a bit of the mixture, rub it between your fingers. I can still feel a little bit of greenage in there, so it needs a little while longer. I like to put a pinch of salt and a little bit of vanilla in my meringue. Just half a teaspoon's fine. I think we're done. Right, so it's very much at stiff peak. So this is what you're aiming for, a lovely thick, glossy mixture. Another tip is to use a bit of your meringue to kind of glue it down. Just in the corners there, blob a bit on. This mixture makes about 12 meringues, that kind of size. Just use another spoon to kind of scrape it off. You want to space them out as much as you can. I personally like my meringues to be a little bit crispy on the outside and slightly chewy and mallowy on the inside. And the way to achieve that is to bake them at 150 degrees C for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to turn the oven off and they're going to continue to cook really slowly while the oven cools down, minimum of an hour in there. They've puffed up a little bit, they've gone ever so slightly golden, like very slightly. So you can tell when they're ready, when they come away from the paper without anything sticking to the bottom. And you can also check by just tapping. Should sound a little bit hollow. Right, so the proof is in the eating. So let's break this baby open. It should be crispy on the outside and mallowy on the inside, and sort of chewy on the, just in between the crunch and the mallow, there's a chewy bit, which is my favourite bit. Yum. Let's have a bit more just to make sure. That's your basic meringue recipe down. And if you like baking and sweet things, then do check out my channel. There's a link below. And if you haven't subscribed to FoodTube already, then what on earth are you doing with your life? See you later. Happy meringue baking, kids.